Hello and welcome to Torah Unboxed. My name is Rabbi Mendel Winner, and today we are going to be reviewing the Tanya, or otherwise known as the Bible of Chassidus. Just like the Bible is studied by scholars and laymen alike, similarly the Tanya is studied by everybody, for it offers advice for each individual on how to serve God in their daily life. Written by the first Lubavitcher Rebbe at the end of the 18th century, this fundamental book outlines Chabad's philosophy and shares an all-embracing world outlook and way of life. It can perhaps be called a self-help book based on Kabbalah and Chassidus. The Tanya tackles some of life's biggest questions, like self-identity, man's purpose on the world, reason for creation, and our relationship with God. Some of Judaism's basic ideas, such as we all have two souls, a godly one and an animalistic one, or the idea that God is personally involved in everything that takes place in this world, are explained and revolutionized in the Tanya. Tanya should be studied on a regular basis, such as a chapter before davening, before praying, or the Chitas program, where you study a little bit of Tanya every single day and complete the entire book every year. Now, translating the Tanya is quite challenging due to its style and esoteric and lofty ideas. The first Tanya that we are going to be reviewing today is this Kehot Bilingual Tanya. It has the original Hebrew on one side, and it has the English on the other side. Now, when they translated this Tanya, they chose to stick to the literal translation because, like we mentioned before, the Tanya is compared to the Bible, or is called the Bible of Chassidus, and is therefore written with such precision and holiness. The lexicon of this translation is slightly dated and old-fashioned, sticks to the literal translation with not much commentary. There's also a phenomenal section in the back of the book dedicated to explaining deep Kabbalistic concepts like the supernal worlds and Ein Sof. This is a fantastic read for someone that is new to Kabbalah and Chassidus. I would recommend this Tanya for someone that is studying with a rabbi or spiritual mentor, and they're going to use this as a springboard to segue into conversation, yet staying grounded and focused by the text. The next Tanya is the Lessons in Tanya. Originally began as a lecture broadcast on the radio back in the 60s by Rabbi Weinberg. His notes were reviewed and edited by the Rebbe himself and eventually made into book form in English. This translation is already a step up than just the literal translation. It's like a teacher giving a lesson to the student with a running commentary and guiding the student when a question is posed and how it is answered. The literal translation is in boldface and commentary is in lighter font. It also includes commentary that brief the student with some of the backgrounds and concepts explained in the Tanya. This is a great translation for an individual that's looking to stick to the original as much as possible. Our next Tanya is the Practical Tanya by Rabbi Miller. Probably the best one for someone new and unfamiliar to Kabbalah and Chassidus. He presents the Tanya as a clear practical guide. He begins with a great map of the Tanya, outlining the topics that will be discussed in the upcoming chapters. Each chapter begins with a header and a subheader, so the student knows and expects what is coming in the upcoming chapter. He blends together a literal translation in boldface, then interpolation and comments in lighter font, followed by extensive commentary and narration guiding the student through the Tanya with his beautiful explanation. He also adds crucial summaries at the end of each topic to fully crystallize the ideas being explained in Tanya. The Hebrew and English text are written and intertwined together, which can be slightly bothersome for someone that is looking to study the English alone, versus the other Tanyas are Hebrew and English on different sides, so you can choose to read it just in English, and it flows perfectly and beautifully. He finally adds short practical lessons that you can take home with, as well as a Chassidic thought, which is tidbits of information gathered from Chassidic teachings. The next Tanya is the Steinsaltz Tanya. Catered to the more academic individual, it's written with a higher vocabulary and a more sophisticated commentary. The explanations of Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz are a scholarly work focusing more on the philosophical logic and scientific illustrations that the Tanya is conveying, yet it still retains the life lessons that the Tanya is teaching. The commentary is comprised of two parts. You have the literal translation in boldface and extensive commentary in lighter font. The second part is in gray boxes at the bottom of the page. This is supplemental material, gives context to the ideas introduced in Tanya, driven from Chassidic anecdotes, stories, and analogies, or from physics and mathematics. Every chapter begins with the introduction and ends with a beautiful summary, crystallizing the ideas and enabling the student to fully follow the flow and the topics of all the chapters. We do have 2 more books that I would like to include today as a bonus. We have the GPS for the Soul, which is totally rewritten in English as an introduction to Tanya, where he takes each chapter of the Tanya and explains the concepts being introduced there in a clear, relatable, and readable language, included with beautiful, inspiring stories and examples. This book by Rabbi Cohen isn't a commentary on Tanya, but rather a rewritten version of the concepts that the Tanya is explaining, following the same order of the chapters of the Tanya. Then we have the Living Lessons from the Tanya. This is a book dedicated to youngsters, fully colored and creatively engaging for young minds, including an introduction, summaries, and rewritten concepts from the Tanya, included with stories, anecdotes, examples, and beautiful tidbits of information. To summarize, we have the Bilingual Tanya, primarily focused on the literal translation with not much commentary. We have the Lessons in Tanya, which is a step up from the literal translation, running commentary, yet still basic and simple. We have the Practical Tanya, more extensive commentary, yet very relatable. We have the Steinsaltz Tanya, catering to the intellectuals with a more sophisticated commentary. We have the GPS for the Soul, totally rewritten into English, based on the chapters of the Tanya, in a very readable, relatable language. And then we finally have the Lessons in Tanya, fully colored for children. Thank you so much for watching. Please share your comments and insights below, and we want to hear, what is your favorite Tanya? Today's review has been brought to you by SfarmDeals.com. Enrich your learning experience and go visit SfarmDeals.com today to buy your latest Jewish book.